Welcome back, as we're going to go over the cornerback position today. We're going to take a look at my top prospects. We will be doing an update to these rankings in the next few weeks before the draft. So I'm starting to finalize my draft projections. So we'll get those out in a couple of weeks. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's go ahead. Get into the nitty gritty as always. Hey, let's have that nice, beautiful discourse. But we're going to start at 10. Marcus Jones. Listen, Marcus Jones, he's probably a slot-only prospect at his size. 5'8", 174. He played a majority at Houston on the outside there with only 500 some snaps in the slot. Over 1,100 there on the outside. Doesn't surprise me. The dude's an exceptionally fluid athlete. He's probably one of the best movers in this class, like smoothest movers. So it doesn't surprise me that they put him on the outside, but he's almost a lock to play in the slot. He's got the body, the short area quickness, only 7% missed tackle rate. It's that type of stuff. It's made for the slot. So if he was just a slot-only guy, he'd probably be a bit lower, but his return skills are like top-notch in this class, man. He had 6 kick returns and 3 punt returns through his career. So 9 return touchdowns. He had 4 muffs on punt returns his freshman year, but since then, only 1. So, very good, very good. Didn't test out at the combine. Hopefully he will at his pro day, so he could kind of prove the movement skills and speed is legit. But I like his ball skills. 10 interceptions, 128 pass breakups through his career. Former transfer from Troy, moved to Houston, and it's been a banger move for him. I could see him going late day 2, early day 3. Let's go to number 9, Martin Emerson. I'm a huge fan of Martin Emerson. He's one of he's a my guy in this class. He's a guy I've been high on since the beginning of the process. Came out, tested a lot faster than I anticipated, but still, he's not like he's the smoothest athlete. He typically relies on that length, and he just has a great... he's very good at processing the field, what receivers are going to do. He has a good feel in zone, playing there at Mississippi State under, David Arnett, I believe? Or Zach Arnett, where he actually has one of the more complex zone coverage schemes in all of college football. So this guy needs to go to a zone-heavy system, zone-heavy defense. And with his length, you love the press skills from him. He's also one of the best tackling corners in this class. So I think in the right system, this cat is going to be like legit. I do worry about in terms of being in man or having to cross the middle field. Like I said, I don't think he has the greatest change of direction or burst. I don't think he only did the 40 at the combine, which, I mean, not doing the agility or the any of the explosive stuff leads me to believe he's probably not going to test out well at those. We'll see that on his pro day, but is what it is. You know what he is in terms of the length, what he has upstairs here. The guy's I think gonna be top notch, man, and that's why I wouldn't mind taking him late second, early third. I got him as a midday 2 guy. So big fan of Martin Emerson. At number 8, Kyler Gordon coming here at 56 on my big board. Kind of I don't want to call him a letdown. It was just a bit of a letdown in terms of everyone and their mom just thought he'd test out better and measure out quicker. I say test out better. He only did the 40. We'll see how he does on his pro day, but just assumed that he would come in with better measurements than he does. He came in just a smidge under 6 foot, 5'11", 194. He was playing at 200. At least that's what it was listed at. And then he comes in with like 31-inch arms. It isn't the length I thought he was going to have. Like, it was just a bit underwhelming for all intents and purposes. So we'll see how he tests at his pro day. But the guy is a bit raw. He's a bit more reactive than proactive. But he was still pretty darn good. He shows good short area quickness. He's a guy that could play inside there in the slot. He actually had to because of injuries this year. And he could play on the outside as well. 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups this season. He shows a nose for the football. He tests the catch point well. Only allowed 51% catch rate. So pretty legit at the catch point. There is a bit inexperience there in coverage. Doesn't like occasionally he just doesn't trust what he sees. I think that'll come in time. His athleticism makes up for a lot of that maybe late recognition. In terms of what he'll do, like I just don't think like he's not going to be a guy that can play in a press. Like a press heavy offense. I just don't think that with his lack there of length, it's not bad length by any means. It's just even at Washington, he wasn't a guy like typically he would give pretty free releases, or at least there wasn't that much of a fight at the line of scrimmage. He would open his hips up quick and try to begin to run with the guy almost like a yard off the line of scrimmage. So he's just not an ideal man, like press man guy or press guy in general. He's probably better off coverage, trying to read what's in front of him. But I like Kyler Gordon, and he is here at number 8. Number 7, Tyreek Woolen. He only did the vert, but my gosh, 42. And then a 4.26 was utterly insane. I think he actually has the biggest length of anyone in this class, or at least he's tied for with, he's tied with, no, I guess no, he's got the most length in this class. I thought he was going to be tied with Ahmad Gardner, but he just beats him by a eighth of an inch. So yeah, 33 and 5/8 inch arms. That's freaking ridiculous, dude. Like, yeah, this guy was impressive. I kind of question he's a former receiver, but I question his ability, not necessarily, I guess, to mirror guys if they cross the field. I don't think, like, he's more of a linear athlete than actual lateral athlete. You need to get this guy to, throw his hands on somebody and like just play press. Like he has to have his hands on somebody. I remember at the Senior Bowl, forgot who. I think it was Zealous Jones, and Jones couldn't get off the line, so they're like, okay, go play off coverage on him, and like he just couldn't hang with him laterally. Like he legit had to he ended up holding him, which obviously is a penalty. He just couldn't keep up with him if he couldn't put a hand on him at the line. So I think ideally he's gonna be like a press zone guy, maybe like quarters, cover 2, something like that. But allowed a completion rate of 56.9 over the last 2 seasons for just under 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Shown good ball skills, 2 interceptions, 10 pass breakups over that time. He has shown good awareness, though, on undercut and high-low routes. When in cover 2, like he's got the explosiveness to come downhill with a head of steam and that length to play things over top of him. I like that. He's pretty. He isn't the. I just don't think he's going to be the. I just don't think he's a guy you can put on the island, and if the guy and trust that he's going to be able to keep up with a guy that maybe like tries to like pull, like have a shallow drag or a or shallow cross, or like have to keep up with him across the field. I think a more shifty receiver is going to really like give him some work. Like Woolen's still I think he's still a bit of a ways from like obviously a final project at this point, but like the tools are immense and mouthwatering. And then I got Roger Mcreary here at number 6. By the way, forgot the extra C in Mcreary. My bad, typos happen. But the biggest knock on him does come down to length. He has probably the short, like, yeah, no, his arm length is about as much as Marcus Jones. It is literally the same, 28 7/8 inches. I think that's the lowest in the class. Looking at it now, it appears that is the lowest in the class currently. So they're tied for the lowest. Listen, at that, like, guys with sub 30-inch arms playing on the outside is just few and far in between. And then the few cases we have that, Dante Jackson, Cameron Sutton, you could argue those guys are better in the slot anyway. So not to say he is a slot only, but it just feels like he might profile better in the slot anyway. But he is a very fluid athlete, I will say that. I thought he looked very good at the Senior Bowl. While the tools may not be elite with him, his production has been, man. Through 2 seasons there at the SEC, he's allowed a completion rate of 57% with 4 interceptions, 15 pass breakups, and he was just an outright monster this past season. He plays the run very well as well, 11% missed tackle rate, so pretty darn good. He's good at limited gains and setting, like, kind of like I would say shutting off the perimeter, or at least protecting the perimeter. His route recognition is pretty good, kind of justifies the ball skills there. His route anticipation, it shows up on tape. It felt like he just grows more dangerous as the game gets longer, and he starts to expect things and notice things. It's just very nice. The one game that I kind of was like, ooh, that's a bit shaky. And to be fair, it was early in the game against Jameson Williams, where Jameson Williams, man, should have had a PI called that would have, like, well, I guess in NCAA, that's just 15 yards, but the NFL would have been like a 25-yard penalty. But there was a PI call because he was legit going to get beat by Jameson Williams, which that's a dude with rare stop-start ability. The dude is just good. So when it comes to, like, when it came to that matchup, I think he would have done better later on in the game, which he did when he had to go one-on-one with Mechie. Essentially he shut down Mechie to like a nickels and dimes. Like, hey, dude, you're not getting behind me. You could take these 6 yards underneath, but you ain't getting anything else after that. I mean, there was even one instance where he had a pass breakup that resulted in an interception. So, like, in that game, like, so a guy that just grows more dangerous as the game continues. Senior Bowl, they moved him in the slot because he's expected to probably play in the slot with his lack of length. So it doesn't knock him down my board too much, but I do think that firmly, like, for me, outside, he's not in the first round conversation just because of that. But I'm a big fan of this Cats game. Number 5, Andrew Booth. He's been unable to perform because of injury, a few injuries. He couldn't participate in the combine, couldn't participate in his pro day. Does it hurt him? I still think he probably sneaks into the first round there at the end, maybe. But yeah, it hurts him a little bit. But Booth has... coming into the year, he was pretty limited in terms of the sample size, as he was kind of like a off and on starter in 2020, but became the full-time starter this year. And the year kind of started out a bit rough as he was shown to, like, struggle with physicality, as we saw that in the NC State game. But going down the stretch, this guy went on an absolute tear, where he had 3 interceptions, 2 pass breakups in the last, from week 9 to week 13, allowing only 4 receptions on 11 targets for 93 yards. The guy was just freaking amazing. I think he's someone that could play either a man-heavy or a zone-heavy role, whatever you ask of him. I think he mirrors pretty efficiently. I kind of question what his launch speed be like, and that looks like something that's not going to be answered. And a guy you would hope to get more physical, but I think he's pretty calculated when it comes to he's kind of like a high risk, high reward, like when it comes to jumping routes. I think that's like very Jalen Johnson of him in terms of, I'm going to compare that part of his game. It's pretty similar to Jalen Johnson. When it comes to his tackling, it's weird, man. The dude's tackling, it's interesting. Like, it's kind of like a dive and drag, except for it seems like his feet are just cemented to the ground, you know? So it's not like he's putting his full force into a tackle. So it's like, that's just technique that needs to be fine-tuned in the NFL. It's fine. Again, tackling and the corner position, that's not high on my checklist, so I'm not too worried about that. But I like the short area quicks. The cat's real good. Kaiir Elam coming in here, number 4. Dude, tested out phenomenally, man. That launch speed's a lot faster than I thought it would be. He started 3 seasons there in the SEC. Granted, this past season probably his worst, but that's just because he got flagged more, man. He is a guy that likes to put his hands on receivers, and this year he got flagged more for it than he has in the past. So that's kind of the big thing, like, oh no, man, why was his year so down? It was just because he was committing penalties. But the length is all right. It's almost 31 inches. It's fine. But he's shown good ball skills through his whole career. 6 interceptions, 15 pass breakups, while allowing a completion rate of 46.4%. He held Devontae Smith back in 2020 to only 3 receptions, 23 yards. Pretty darn good. He's good at keeping in the hip pocket of receivers. I like that. So it's nice seeing the speed be better than anticipated, because I think he's a pretty fluid mover. I think he's pretty smooth, but not explosive. So it looks like that thing will be fine. He's pretty improved as a tackler this past season after missing 13 tackles in 2020. He only missed 3 this year. So I'd rather teach a physical corner to be less physical. I'd rather, like, okay, they kind of got that mean streak in their game, just having to tell them to, like, lay off rather than trying to like get someone who that's just not in their nature to be that, I think is a lot tougher. So I think just getting him to be a bit less physical, a bit less handsy, that's fine. I'd rather that. That's why I got him here at 4. I'm a big fan of Elam. Number 3, Trent McDuffie. I put him here as like a zone-heavy scheme and hybrid. I think he's a guy that can play on the outside, play in the slot, play in safety. He can play really wherever you want him to. I kind of like that versatility about him. Big fan of Trent McDuffie. He's been shut down since he stepped foot there at Washington. 4.44 speed, nice. I think the movement skills are great, aided by this dude's just explosive out of his breaks. Also, taking into account this dude's tackling, man, is top notch. Only 6 missed tackles throughout his career, man. Now there will be concerns about his length. He came in 29 3/4 on the arm length, so it's not ideal, but it's not far from that 30-inch threshold. Considering his skill set, I think he's a guy that can maybe knock the trend. And if anything, he's a dude you want to move around anyway. I love the short area quicks. I love this dude being able to, he's got good like route recognition, and he hops on that. Like, he will come down and react. The ball skills are a bit questionable just because he wasn't thrown to a lot. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, because he's essentially been a shutdown guy. But 5 pass breakups this season, and while also allowing a career best 44% catch rate. You like it, you like it, you like it. I'm a big fan. And then number 2, Derek Stingley, as we still wait the pro day. See if he'll participate in his pro day. See how those numbers go. But he came in, the length was less than you anticipated. That's where I was kind of a little bit let down. I thought he'd come in with like 32-inch arms, and he came in with 30 5/8. A lot less than I anticipated, but I still believe in what I've seen athletically from this guy. He's got the traits. Like, the dude can be a guy you can put on an island. There's been times, yes, in the last couple of years where it's like the play wasn't nearly as spectacular as his freshman season. That's kind of one of the big knocks on him, is being like, oh, he hasn't played well since his freshman year. And I'd say 2020, it wasn't necessarily that bad of a year for him. In a year that was kind of like they weren't really playing for much, and he was dealing with a leg injury that season, as well as we will see the broken ankle this year. But yeah, like, I thought he did a better job in 2020 of facing Devontae Smith than he did in 2019. I thought he did a better job at that. Obviously, it was like people were like, well, Kyle Pitts took him to task. Kyle Pitts, why are you gonna put a corner on a freaking tight end? What do you mean? Of course, Kyle Pitts took him to task. What a mismatch. But Van Jefferson. Jefferson? Is it Van Jefferson? The other Florida receiver, who's a pretty shifty route runner. Like, it did get the better of him on some plays in 2020. So yeah, again, like, I'm not gonna like dispute 2020 was a bit of a down year, but it wasn't by accounts like a lost season. Like, I thought he had good parts, good stretches in the 2020 season. And then 2021, the only thing, like, he only played 3 games, 2.5 technically, before the broken ankle. I think it was broken ankle. But before basically being shut down for the year. And everyone talks about the UCLA game where he was beat technically one time where he was playing off coverage in the slot. Like, I think he's mainly a man guy. Like, you could tell the feel and zone just isn't there just yet, as he kind of passes off assignments fairly quickly. And he kind of did that with, well, Kyle Phillips, and he ran Kyle Phillips down and then missed the tackle. Wasn't great. I get it. But I think you also gotta recognize, okay, he was playing in a role that he won't be in the NFL. Okay, because I really think this dude's a press man corner, a guy you can leave alone on an island. And what was he doing against Kyle Phillips? Off coverage in the slot, passed him out of his zone early, tried to run him down, missed it. Like, again, something I don't think you're going to be asking him to do in the NFL. So, I'm not trying to hold the water for Derek Stingley here, but I want to hold out till we see the pro day. But I did move him down to 2 because, number 1, Ahmad Gardner was just so freaking impressive. He will be 22 literally days before the season opener. So he's currently 21. Will be I try to get the ages. What will they be by the season opener? So that's it's not like current age. It's how old will they be at the beginning of the year. So yeah, but dude came in 33.5-inch arms and then ran a 4.41. Holy stinking moly. I'm eager to see what he does in the agility drills, because I think he's a pretty good athlete, but there are a lot of guys, like I know Alex from Hail Mary Sports thinks this guy can move, so I can't wait to see that. Don't know when Cincinnati's pro day is, but I'm looking forward to it. But he's been shut down, never allowed a touchdown throughout his career there in the American Conference. So dude's been great through his career. 9 interceptions, 17 pass breakups, allowed a completion percentage of 42.4% through his career. Like, the guy cleaned up in terms of his penalties. He had 14 penalties during his first 2 seasons, only 2 this past year. Like, he was using his hands a lot cleaner. And that's something you actually, I feel like you really noticed later in the year, where it was just like, he is so good at using his hands to, like, that threshold of, like, yeah, you can't really call that. Love the length. He put on bulk. He did shed some of it before the combine. I think his playing weight's probably going to be closer to 200. But huge man. Huge fan. Think ideally he's a press man, but you could put him in like, you have to put him in press, man. You got that length, you got to put him in press. You could put him in like a cover 3 press or anything like that. But I think ideally press man is where you want him. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who are a couple of your faves in here? Like Cam Taylor-Britt and Alontae Taylor are a couple of my favorites that just missed the list. But let me know some of yours in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.